Hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Welcome to the Better Hair, Better You show with Dr. Sierra, where the Robotic Hair Institute in Fort Lauderdale, Florida is a premier robotic hair restoration clinic. Dr. Sierra treats men and women of all ages who long to return to the days when they had copious amounts of hair. From implants to toupees to various chemical applications, men and women are eager to embrace a variety of treatments that promise to restore hair to its youthful volume and abundance. This show will discuss the latest procedures and technology for hair restoration. We specialize in providing the latest no-scar, robotic view hair restoration surgery. And thanks to advances in medical science and technology, we also offer non-surgical procedures and medical protocols combined with proprietary topical compounds to help augment and solidify results. Get ready to call in at 888-565-1470 and join the conversation of this amazing procedure. Let's start improving our lives.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome to Better Hair, Better You. I'm your host, Dawn Graubert, filling in for Miss Alana Shearer, who is out today on some personal reasons. When she fills you in, you'll understand why. Very exciting things she's got going on. But we are kicking off the new year. No better way, Better Hair, Better You, with Dr. Rafael Sierra than saying, New Year, New You. I love that. You know, we talk about New Year, New You so many ways about meditation and inside out and everyone trying to be filled with gratitude and happiness and kindness. But you know what? A lot of that has to do with when you look in the mirror, you say, you know what? I love the way I look.
Yeah, that's a good way to start the year.
Great way to start the year. So get your pen and pencil, write this number down. We are live on WWNN Radio, 888-565-1470. And while you're at it, you may want to check out the website. It is sierrarobotic.com with 2 R's. I can't roll my R's, but Dr. Sierra probably can do it a whole lot better. So welcome. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. How are you?
Happy 2022. It's hard to believe how fast time has gone.
I know, right?
Unbelievable. You have a nice New Year's?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good.
Just regrouping, and you've got an incredible special that we should put out right in front so
Yes,
people can
that's
start
right.
thinking about it. So Better Hair, Better You, New Year, 2022 special.
We're doing $1,000 off anybody that wants to get a hair transplant. As long as you can book it before the end of the month, we'll honor that discount.
Wow. That's significant. Doesn't mean you have to do the treatment before. You just need to book before the end of the month.
Just book it before the end of the month. And then you have, we give you the entire year to book it anytime you want.
You know, I've been doing all my research and looking at everything and the websites. Everything redirects me back to sierrarobotic.com. I want to talk a little bit, though, about the robotic that you use, because it is a state-of-the-art, minimally invasive, no scarring, no changing your haircut to cover the scar.
Right.
Let's talk about this robot because it is spectacular what it's doing.
Yes, the robot it's really amazing. It's like you said, it's state-of-the-art technology, and basically what it does is takes away a lot of the guessing work and the human error during this procedure. It is programmed to identify the hair that usually grows about 15 degrees off of where the hair follicle actually is. So it can detect the hair and then adjust the angle in a way that we get the best quality grafts that we can wish for. And obviously, when we have a good quality graft, we have a good quality result. We get about a 90 to 95% graft take. And like you said, I mean, there is really no or minimal pain. There is really no downtime. Patients go home, and then after 2 or 3 days, they're back to normal. There's just a few things that they need to take care of as far as where the transplant was done. But other than that, they can go back to their normal life.
And no scarring. So it's the FUE, follicular unit extraction. So is it one at a time? Or can the robot go in and maybe do a linear line?
No, we do one hair follicle at a time, and that's why once that place is healed up, there is really no visible scar.
One at a time. So
yes.
Typically, how long of a treatment is it?
So the procedure can range between 5 and 10 hours, depending on how many grafts we're doing. Usually, the largest transplants we do are between 25 to 2,700 follicles, and there we're talking about a procedure that can take up to 10 hours.
And people are writing. I've got so many questions that people have written in, which is really spectacular. They wanted first. Let's talk about your credentials. Surgically trained.
That's right. I did my residency at Tulane University. I've been doing robotic surgery for more than 10 years, and I love what I do. I mean, what else can I say?
And you are an MD, so a medical doctor.
That's right.
Surgically trained. How many transplants do you think you've done?
This point, maybe I would say 15, 20. My original training was as a surgical oncologist in robotic surgery, which I've been doing for, like I said, about 15 years, doing major procedures, anything from gallbladders to resection of other parts of the body.
So I have to ask, why did you make the transition to robotic hair restoration?
So that's a good question, and one of the reasons, the main reason, is that during my years of doing cancer surgery, I've seen patients that have to go through chemotherapy and how much just losing their hair affects their lives. And beyond the fact that of the diagnosis, is just the way they look also becomes a big issue, and it gets into the realm of depression and just self-worth, and then when patients stop the chemotherapy and the hair grows back, they just feel like they've almost been reborn. So I saw that and I thought, well, I mean, maybe I can use my skills to help in that area too. So that's what made me kind of start looking into this other direction.
And this is not performed strictly by a robot. This is physician assisted.
That's right. So
Robotic.
it's robotic assisted.
I don't want people to think, oh, you're going to book with the doctor and hey, he's out for coffee. And
No. The way it works is I'm going to be there by the side of the patient. I am the one that will be controlling the robot, making sure that we're doing the right area, making sure that the robot is doing the right thing, and then there's parts of the procedure that have to be done by hand. There's some areas of the scalp when we're talking about implantation that the robot cannot do, and I do those by hand.
And people are writing in. Jenna from Texas asks, if I get the procedure and I want to dye my hair, will I be able to?
Yes, definitely. Like we said before, this is your hair. There is no special care that you need to do to it. Once it's growing, it's your hair. So you can dye it, you can style it, you can cut it, you can do whatever you want, and it's going to grow for the rest of your life.
And what are some great testimonials? Because you have to find joy. Because if you found joy from when chemotherapy patients, their hair was growing back, now you are helping facilitate this in others.
Yes.
How does it make you feel?
Well, it makes me feel great, and that's one of the reasons why I got into medicine in the first place and in surgery. Just helping people to feel better, whether it is just by taking gallbladders out, or in this case, making them, helping them feel better the way they look, and I mean, patients tell me, I mean, Doc, this has been life-changing. I mean, personal things like, you know, I've had to wear my wedding ring more often, the way I present myself, things like that. Yeah.
You know, when I go to those bars, I really have to keep my wedding band on now.
Yes, exactly.
That's amazing. And
I have a question.
I'm still laughing about the wedding band.
But, is there an age limit that you can work on a person, boy, female, or it doesn't matter?
No, I mean, really, the patients that I've had range from between 19, 20, probably the youngest, to mid-70s. So that's kind of the the range. There is really no age limit. I wouldn't recommend to do this in a younger kid, in a teenager. Usually teenagers don't have this type of problem. If there is this problem, there's probably something beyond just regular androgenic or non disease related
So if we
hair
talk
loss.
about that autoimmune disease or alopecia, people losing their hair, and you do the transplant, will it take? Will it hold? Will it stay?
It depends on what the
Okay.
reason or the cause of the hair loss. I mean, we have things that are autoimmune diseases that what needs to be addressed is the autoimmune disease. Some of them are self-limited, some of them they are not, but still we have to be very careful on who we do this type of procedure, because not everybody is a candidate.
Which is why it's so important to call you for a consultation.
That's right. Yeah.
Remission, a person in remission for cancer, and then it comes back, and they are in the midst of doing this whole procedure. Do you stop? Is it okay for them to do it?
In that case, what I would recommend is once a patient, I would not do a procedure in somebody that is actively going through chemotherapy. If it's somebody that is going through chemotherapy, then what we need to do is wait until the chemotherapy is finished, and then give it a little time. And if after a few months, after there is still something that the patient wants to do, maybe we can do it. But I would not do that any procedures in somebody that is going through chemotherapy.
Check out the website, sierrarobotic.com. $1,000 off for booking between now and the end of this month. So can we talk a little bit price?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to give you an exact price, but in general, it ranges between $5,000 and $15,000. It's not a cheap procedure, but I remind you, it's for life. And
But it's not as expensive as I thought you were going to say. You know, we've tickled around it. We've sort of skirted the issue. We talked
Yeah.
about discounts, and I always would say, well, what does it cost? So you had told me upwards, of a zero on that one, and I would have said, all right, it is what it is. But that is quite reasonable.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it is, like I said, it's not a cheap procedure, but I think it's worth it. It's something that I see it more as an investment in yourself, and something that will definitely be a life-changing event.
Well, sure, because you get it done, and you're putting the value back into you.
Correct.
Right? And then every time you look in the mirror, or every time you put your wedding band back on, or whatever you're doing, you just say, you know what? I love myself. And you just feel better about yourself. If you have that self-confidence, you can step out of your comfort zone. It's life-changing. You can't put a price on life-changing.
Exactly.
A lot of people do their hair over.
Yes.
The
Okay.
sweep?
The comb over, the hair over, the Trump over, whatever you want to call it. But the funny thing is that they don't find that to be uncomfortable. I know guys who have done it for years.
Yeah.
And if they were to add up the monies that they would save just by it looking natural, it makes a whole lot more sense to do this than the comb over. Any of the, I guess they call plugs or implants, are they even on the side of the head or off on the back?
It's mainly from the back of the head and a little bit to the side. We try not to go beyond kind of the middle of where the ear, the middle of the ear. And that's just because we don't know in most patients in the future if there's going to be a little more hair loss, and we don't want to get beyond that part.
And both men and women as well. So women, if you're being a little bit vain, you don't have to really worry about the bandages. Someone wrote in, I'm in the TV business and would like to come, but I can't be seen on camera with bandages.
There is, so especially for women, it's what we offer is to do the hair transplant without having to shave the head in the top. We only have to shave the bottom. And if the patient has long hair, you can't really tell that there's anything going on underneath.
Is there a different pattern that women lose their hair typically than men, or is it the same?
It's a different pattern. In women, most of the time is related to hairstyles, what it's called traction alopecia. So it's usually hairline, and sometimes a little bit in the middle if they pull the hair very tight. Also,
It's that ponytail.
yes,
It's that tight ponytail we do. But autoimmune disease, menopause, all the things that cause women to lose their hair. I don't think women primarily say, oh, let me go to a hair transplant, because I think we're even more vain than men about doing it.
Well, they withdraw, especially among the Latino community. Men don't like to talk about hair loss. They wear hats, they wear caps, they wear whatever, because they just don't like to talk about it. Now, there are different things you can do, because they do the crew cut now, what they call the zero, like Slick
Yeah.
does, right? But that still is a defensive mechanism where you can take care of that problem. You got to be the priest, you got to be the doctor all at the same time. But there's an opportunity for you to do different things if you just take the step. So what's Doc's number?
Let's give out the number.
so the number is 954-776-0830.
And definitely check out the website, sierrarobotic.com. It is incredible how much information is here. There's testimonials. You can see before and after pictures that are just startling, because it doesn't even look like the same hairline.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we also offer is that for women and even transgender patients that are trying to complete their transition, if they want to have a hairline that is more feminine or more masculine, if you have noticed, I don't know if you have noticed, but women tend to have a more rounded hairline. Men, we have more angle hairlines, so we also offer that.
It's interesting. I never even thought about people that are going through transgender surgeries and they want to totally change their look.
Yeah.
You'll do that as well.
Yes, we
Now,
do.
does it change with the hormones that people are taking? Does that affect anything?
Usually not. No. And there is, the science behind it is, like we mentioned before, the hormone that is responsible for hair loss in more than 90% of men is testosterone. And it's not only the hormone itself, you need a receptor that it's not present in the hair follicles that we use for the transplant.
That's a whole nother group of people that you can help doing this. You talk about the reward of what that is when they're going through surgeries or not top surgeries or not bottom surgeries. Just when you're going through that transition to look in the mirror and feel like you want to feel.
Yes.
And it changed. I never even realized hairlines. Well, I know my hairline's different than yours, Freddie, but I've never really thought about men's hairlines versus women's hairlines.
It took me a long time to accept that, by the way.
Yes.
It took me a very long time to finally somebody say, you're bald. And it took me a long time, because bald doesn't happen overnight. It sort of dissipates little by little.
It's
you
a
have to find
process.
different way. It's a process. And getting it all back at once would probably put me into a deep coma.
Yeah.
No,
But
no.
what an opportunity to be able to do that. Most men will tell you we are more vain than anybody because of our hair. It causes depression, like you said before. There's
Yeah.
all sorts of problems.
Sure.
And among Latinos is even a bigger, deep, dark secret.
Yeah.
And I can say that because I am Latino. And I tell you, they don't like it at all. Now they're doing that whole thing where they shave it and they leave a little birth on there, so they're all real cool. That ain't the deal.
What about payment plans?
We do offer payment plans. We work with two different financial institutions. Care Credit is one of them. Basically, we offer up to 12 months without interests. And then if the patient requires a little longer time to pay, they just can apply through these institutions, and then they usually get a pretty good interest rate.
That makes a huge difference. So people who want to do this, this can be the investment in yourself for new year, new you.
That's right.
You call Dr.
2022.
2022, new year, new you 2022. Call Dr. Sierra. You have the consultation. You book your procedure between now and the end of the month. You save $1,000. You can also then apply for a payment plan and pay it off over 12 months. It's a win-win for everybody.
I think it's pretty easy.
And then you feel great about yourself.
Hmm.
Most procedures, multiple treatments or one treatment.
So the most of the time we can achieve very good results with one treatment. Depends on what the patient wants. If, like I said, the patient needs more than, let's say, 2,500, grafts, we usually split those patients in 2 procedures because I don't recommend doing more than 2,700 grafts in one session because it's not only a long procedure, but it's also, we start getting into the zone of maybe having some wound complications, and we don't want to get there. There is no need for that.
Divide it up and just do what you got to do. But that's not bad at all. And let me ask you, people who have been bald for a long time, is there a time limit on when the scalp is still viable to accept the hair transplant?
I mean, it's anytime.
So anytime. So if you've been bald, say 15, 20 years, it's not as if your scalp won't accept the transplant.
No.
It's always a viable option.
Yes.
That's fantastic to know.
As long as there's enough hair in the donor area, we can do it.
What about diabetes or things of that nature?
Diabetes doesn't really cause hair loss by itself. Some deficiencies in minerals and vitamins can cause hair loss. Usually that can be reversed by improving the nutritional status of the patient. But it's not really something that would require a transplant.
And you also offer non-surgical protocols. If people don't want to jump right in, you want to maybe just dip your toe in the water. There's some other treatments that you do offer that are non-surgical, non-invasive.
That's right, yeah. So we offer IV therapy just for those patients that will need some kind of vitamins or any kind of maybe nutritional support in a way. And also we offer PRP, which we've talked about before. It's platelet-rich plasma, and that basically works by injecting a concentrate of your own blood that contains platelets, like the name says, and also growth factors. And what that does is that, in a way, kind of repairs the hair follicles and improves the quality of the hair and slows down hair loss.
PRP.
How many maintenance appointments do you think an average person, if any, would require?
For PRP, my recommendation and what it's out there in the literature is, I mean, there's different protocols, but what we offer is 1 treatment a month for 3 months, just kind of like a ramp-up period, and after that, maybe once every 6 months.
And do you recommend different supplements to keep your hair supple, growing thicker, like hair and nail supplements?
If there is some things that we can offer, and biotin, certain vitamins. In general, what I tell my patients, as long as you have a healthy diet and you have a good routine as far as nutrition, that should be enough. Some people feel like they need some other, maybe a little bit more of this or that. We can help them with that. Once they do PRP, some people like to continue doing minoxidil, Rogaine, or Propecia, which is finasteride, and that adds up and can help.
Something topical.
Yeah.
This sounds amazing, and it sounds like it's definitely got options. Easy, dip your toe in, or the surgical procedure. How do you get to your website?
SierraRobotic.com.
SierraRobotic.com. Call him now. Schedule a consultation anywhere. He can do it virtually. You do not have to make the trip to Florida until you book it, and then you come on down. Dr. Rafael Sierra, thank you so much. Sierra Robotic Hair Institute. Check it out. SierraRobotic.com.
And also one more thing, for those patients that want to come visit us, we offer a $500 voucher for their travel expenses.
Better hair, better you. New year, new you. Have a great night, everyone, and a happy new year.
You have been listening to the Better Hair, Better You show with Dr. Sierra. Dr. Sierra has shared valuable inspiration and information to help restore hair growth and confidence. If you want more information, call Dr. Sierra at 954-776-0830 or visit his website at sierrarobotic.com. And tune in again next week for another valuable life